As the original Scream trilogy came to a close with Scream in 2000, Wes Craven and others lied about no more Scream movies as they decided to come out with a Scream 4, and also having back Kevin Williamson as writer for the most part. This is a great movie that goes back to the charm I feel was lost in Scream 3. There will be spoilers as always, so go check it out for yourself if you haven't already. But today, I'll be telling y'all why Scream 4 is an amazing sequel. The movie begins with the phone ringing, and it's motherfucking Ghostface. Two friends, Trudy and Sherry, answer, but decide it's a prank even though Trudy has a stalker. They hear Ghostface and aren't entertained, so they hang up and ignore the calls even after Ghostface threatens to turn them into Kenny from Scream 1.
You hang up on me and I'll cut through your neck until I feel bone.
They hear the door ring and Sherry decides to answer it even though the stalker is seeming kinda sus about the whole situation on Trudy's flip phone. After Sherry checking outside and seeing nothing, Ghostface texts Trudy to tell her, duh, he's not outside, he's in the closet. He then pops out and stabs Trudy, and when Sherry tries to run out the door, there's another Ghostface who slits her throat. Hey, Ghostface did warn you, Sherry. But it's okay, that was all just an intro for Stab 6. Chloe and Rachel are the two girls watching Stab 6, but Rachel isn't a fan of the lack of originality.
These sequels don't know when to stop, they just keep recycling the same shit.
However, Chloe enjoys the Stab movies and takes offense to the shit talk, so she stabs her friend in the stomach and kills her, so that she can watch her movie in peace. But it's okay, that was just the intro to Stab 7. Damn. We cut to what I hope is the real movie now, with Ginny and Marnie watching Stab 7. Here we learn that Sydney threatened to sue the production company after Stab 3, so they couldn't use her life anymore, so they had to make up random shit for the rest of the franchise. Also, we learn that Ginny and Marnie are residents of Woodsboro. Poor kids. Marnie gets a prank call just like in the other Stab movies, but it's just Ginny using her Star 67. However, it seems Marnie is pranking her back, making struggling sounds on her end.
I don't see why you get off on this.
Ginny goes to investigate, where she finds the phone on the floor and wait, where's Marnie? Where the fuck did she go? Oh, there she is. But too bad for her, she's dead. Ghostface appears and chases Marnie through her house and into the garage.
Oh shit, here we go again.
There she tries to crawl out of the house under the garage door, but Ghostface shuts it and smashes her, giving us a throwback to Tatum. R.I.P. I still don't think the garage would A, not have a sensor, and B, be strong enough to do damage on a human, but hey, I can't lie, I really fuck with the garage kill scenes, they're pretty sick. Ghostface pulls Ginny back into the garage and stabs her to death. And guess what? Yeah, that was the real movie, motherfucker. Now we're in Woodsboro, where we see Jill Roberts. Yeah, you might recognize her, she's done a few movies, including We're the Millers, one of the greatest movies of all fucking time. Jill is Sydney's cousin, which scares her friend Olivia, who is her next door neighbor. However, her friend and driver, Kirby, thinks it's pretty cool since she is a whore. Oh, my fault, I meant horror nerd. Also horror nerds at Woodsboro include cinema club leaders Robbie and Charlie. The 5 of them, as well as Jill's boyfriend, chill at the same fountain Sydney and her friends chilled at in Scream 1. Oh, also, Jill's boyfriend likes to fucking growl. What the fuck, man? We cut to Dewey getting out of bed and... Wait, what's that behind you, Dewey? What the fuck? Breaking news, Gail isn't a bitch to start a Scream movie. Let's savor this. We never know if this will happen again. Gail and Dewey are still married from Dewdrop's book proposal at the end of Scream 3. Gail is at a major writing block, but should still be proud. I'd be lucky to get my name down on one of my fucking writing assignments. She watches Sydney on TV as she is a successful author now, and Gail is kinda jelly. Sydney is back in Woodsboro, where she sees the town decorated with ghost faces before she reunites with Gail and Dewey. But Dewey brought his cop crew, and they are there because they tracked the phone from the murders of Ginny and Marnie to this location, where they find it in Sydney's trunk. With some fresh and juicy news to report on, Gail wants to help solve the case, but Deputy Judy Hicks won't let her, and is also a little rude to her because she's got a little crush on the Dooster.
You're not cheating on your wife if you eat my lemon square.
Gail goes to talk to Dewey since Dewey is the sheriff now. Still crazy doofus went from ice cream eater to sheriff. This deserves a 30 for 30. Jill and her friends must be questioned by the police now because they got a call from Ghostface, and here Jill gets to reunite with Sydney. Since Sydney has to stay in town now because evidence was found in her trunk, she crashes at Jill's house. Sid and Dewey have a one-on-one where Dewey brings back their brother-sister-like charm. Sydney catches Jill and her boyfriend sneaking around where we find out that Jill's boyfriend cheated on her. Also, for some reason, Deputy Hicks is just lurking around the house in some shadows. I don't know, that's kind of weird. But what's even more weird is the police officer preying on high school girls.
She can live next door to me.
Officer Perkins and Officer Haas are in charge of watching over Jill's house for any roaming ghost faces as Jill and her friends watch Shaun of the Dead. Hell yeah. Inside the house, Kirby and Jill get a call from Ghostface who says he's in the closet. But once Kirby debunks that, he tells us that that's the wrong closet and pops out of Olivia's closet and starts stabbing her. Sydney hears a noise and springs into action, but it's too late because when she gets there, Olivia's all over the walls. Jill starts to blame Sydney for Olivia's death before Ghostface appears again, but gets its ass kicked by Sydney before disappearing like usual. Robbie and Charlie show up on the scene to get some film before Gail approaches them with an opportunity to team up. Of course, they are down.
I love you.
Inside the hospital, we meet Rebecca, another annoying media person who doesn't care about anyone but themselves.
I'm talking 100% increase in sales, minimum.
But on her way out, Rebecca gets a call from Ghostface, and after being unable to escape, is stabbed and killed by Ghostface, and then tossed off the fucking roof. I don't think Ghostface was the biggest fan of Rebecca. Gail and Sydney attend Robbie and Charlie's film club so they can learn more info into taking down Ghostface. But the only info they get is how the only way to survive a horror movie is to be gay. Oh, also they learn about a stab marathon happening that night. There they play every fucking movie in the franchise. Yeah, all 7 of them. Alright then. Jill's mom won't let her go, which forces Kirby to go by herself.
I will drink for the both of us.
And there Gail is sneaking around in a Ghostface costume, putting up hidden cameras to spy on this party, or as Gail likes to call it,
This circle jerk.
Robbie and Charlie kick off their watch party as Gail watches from the car when she realizes her cameras weren't as hidden as she thought, with Ghostface checking himself out in the lens. Gail calls Dewey before heading in to fix her camera, but when she gets in, sees a camera that doesn't belong to her, and then Ghostface comes out of the shadows in the barn for a sneak attack. She is stabbed in the shoulder before Dewey shows up to shoot his usual 0 for 5 on Ghostface. Everyone runs out of the marathon as Gail tells Dewey that Ghostface had its own camera and is probably planning on making a movie of its own. No, not that type of movie, you perv. Haas and Perkins are still keeping watch at Jill's house when Haas goes on a house check and when he returns is stabbed by Ghostface in the back. What's up with the worst possible police officers in Scream movies? They always getting killed in dumb ways. Speaking of, here comes another. Perkins is then stabbed straight in the head, so he gets out and throws a couple swings before going down. In Jill's house, Kate gets back from a grocery run. Like, come on, Kate, you got people getting killed left and right with police officers sitting out front, and now you decide it's the perfect time to use those coupons? Ghostface calls Sydney and threatens her family, but once she checks Jill's room and she's gone, Sydney knows Ghostface is talking about Kate. They see Ghostface running towards the door, so they shut it, just in time. But, well, maybe don't sit in front of the mail hole, Kate. Come on. Jill and her crew are chilling at Kirby's when Trevor pulls up and says he was invited, but Jill says he lying, cause her phone is gone. She goes to look for it, so Trevor follows her, and then Robbie leaves Kirby and Charlie alone.
Now would be a really good time to make a move.
Trevor comes back at the worst possible time, and is fine with cock blocking, so that pisses Charlie off as he storms off. Charlie is outside still in his live stream when his head camera gets fucked up. You drunk motherfucker. But when he fixes it, Ghostface is all up in the camera and stabs Charlie a few times until he comes out of the closet.
You can't, there's rules. I'm gay. I'm gay.
Ghostface stabs him enough times so that he can have a walkover death next to some other characters, just like Steven Stone in Scream 3. This time, however, his audience is Sydney, Jill, and Kirby. Ghostface chases them up the stairs where Sydney tells Jill to hide under the bed so she can go out onto the roof and hide from Ghostface and call for backup in the form of Dewdrop. The call for backup ends abruptly though because she gets hit off the roof by Ghostface, but she's okay and runs inside right into Kirby. They go downstairs where they see a sus Charlie with blood murder hands. But oh shit, now Ghostface is behind him. Yeah, the power went out and now Charlie is tied to a chair. You freaky frog, Charlie. This here is a reference to, well, Scream from 1996 with Steve tied to a chair in the opening scene. Sydney goes to find her cousin while Kirby answers some questions on the Ghostface trivia show.
Then it's time for your last chance question.
She goes outside to untie Charlie, but gets stabbed by, well, Charlie. You bastard, he was the killer. And Kirby might have been stabbed to death. Might have not. I guess we'll have to wait and find out. Sydney is grabbed by Charlie, but she escapes to run towards the door where she is stabbed by Ghostface. And it's Jill. Can't even trust her own cousins anymore, what a shame. They bring Sydney into the kitchen where tied up Trevor is pulled out of the closet just like Sydney's dad in 1996. Jill slut-shames Trevor before making sure he can't cheat ever again.
No,
Well, or do anything, that motherfucker dead. Jill and Charlie reveal that they are dating each other and that they want to be Sid and Randy, the sole survivors of a murder spree. They also filmed everything for more fame online with various camera angles that they have been working on getting footage for. Charlie and Jill plan to redo what the murderers from Woodsboro did in 1996.
Yeah, old school. Like Billy and Stu.
But instead, Jill kills Charlie, as she wants to be the only survivor of this murder spree. She is jealous of Sydney and wants all of her fame. So she sets up the crime scene to look like she was a victim after she scratches her face, stabs herself, pulls out her own hair, jumps through a painting, and then jumps onto a glass table before finally laying down next to Sydney. Dewey and police arrive where they take Jill to the hospital, and on the way there, she gets the fame she has been longing for. But that's not enough, as she wants to write a book with Gail.
If I ever write a book one day, I'd want her to write it with me.
Dewey reveals that Sydney survived, and obviously Jill doesn't want to hear that, so she pulls out her equipment and heads towards Sid's room. There, she accuses her of being Michael Myers.
Who are you, Michael fucking Myers?
And then they have a sibling fight on the hospital bed while Dewey tells Gail about Jill wanting to write a book with her. Gail and Dewey realize that Jill must be the other killer after thinking about her statement of her and Gail having the same wounds on their shoulders. Dewey runs to Sydney's room but is taken out by Jill with a metal pan. She then holds Gail at gunpoint, but Officer Judy Hicks comes in for the save. Jill shoots at Hicks before letting Gail get her final word.
Clear.
Sydney defibrillates Jill's head and has a horror remark for her as well.
Don't fuck with the original.
No way the killer's dead, right? There it is. Jill gets up and is shot through the chest by Sydney. Officer Hicks also gets up to show her bulletproof vest. Wait now, Mrs. Hicks. Why not, help then if you were okay? Everyone almost died, The movie ends with the media talking about Jill and the news reports she died to have. After Scream 3, many fans, including me, wondered how this franchise could ever revive itself from its apparent drop in quality. But Scream 4 answers our questions greatly. I love how this movie is both a remake and a sequel. We have our main three back from the original trilogy to add knowledge from the perspective of someone who has already lived through this nightmare. But on the other hand, we have a whole new cast of high schoolers that take on the murder spree of Ghostface. A lot of times when a modern remake has the use of technology, it ruins it for me. But in Scream 4, I feel the addition of technology actually added to the plot and made for an interesting idea when paired with Ghostface. I love the Ghostface reveals in Scream 4, they remind me of Billy and Stu from Scream 1. And I love it. I love how they directly reference those killers too. I also really enjoyed Jill being the killer. It caught me off guard. And I can't really say the same for Charlie because he was kind of suspicious, but still overall, two great killer reveals. And much needed, as the last reveal was not a good one in my opinion. I'm very happy with this movie and how it bounced back from the lackluster outing that Scream 3 had. It is one that defines Scream's legacy as one of the greatest and probably the most consistent in quality franchises of all time. Let me know your thoughts on this movie and any other videos you would like to see next. Please drop a like and hit that subscribe button, or your cousin will try to kill you. Thank y'all so much for watching, and have a blessed day. Peace.